A lot of people told me I should have bought a fancy, high-end bike instead of spending my money upgrading my budget enduro bike. Well, in today's video, I'm setting out to prove those haters wrong. Now, if you guys are subscribed to the channel, you know that the Trek Slash has always been one of my very favorite enduro bikes. But I've been so blown away with my Polygon N9, and in fact, I think this may be one of the best enduro bikes I've ever owned. So here's what we're gonna do. First, we're gonna go over all the upgrades I did to this Polygon N9 right here, including the total price it cost me for the bike and all those upgrades. Then we're gonna hop online and see which Slash model I could have bought for that same price. And ultimately, we're gonna find out if upgrading a budget bike like this was actually worth it. But let's start by taking a quick look at this Polygon N9 before I put any upgrades on it, which came stock out of the box with a Fox 38 fork with the grip damper, a Fox Float X2 rear shock with the 4-way adjustable damper, a mostly Shimano XT drivetrain, SRAM Code R brakes with 200mm rotors front and rear, and Schwalbe Magic Mary tires, all stacked on Polygon's independent floating suspension, which you just have to ride to realize how amazing that suspension platform performs. I was immediately blown away with just how good this bike rode, especially at the current sale price of less than $2,500. However, there were just a couple things holding this bike back from reaching its full potential. It's time for some upgrades. So let's go ahead and go over these upgrades from top to bottom, starting with the stem and handlebar combo from Trail One. Now, Trail One does support this channel. I got links in the video description down there and discounts for you guys. So if you want to help the channel or if you like the way any of these components look, definitely check them out. I love Trail One components. They perform great, and I love representing this company because I know it's products that you guys will be stoked on as well. But this stem, not only does this stem look amazing with all those chrome graphics that are on the bike, that little bit of holographic to them, and then you got these oil slick bolts that are in this stem. So not only does it look amazing, but it performs a lot better than the stock 50mm stem that came on this bike. This is a 35mm stem, so you can see quite a bit shorter there. Definitely improved the handling. And then for the handlebars, I did some testing on alloy versus carbon bars and was just blown away at how much better these Crockett carbon alloy bars made this bike handle and just feel on the trails. So I got the Crockett carbon bars, and then my very favorite set of Hell's Gate grips from Trail One right here. Plenty of padding, plenty of cushion as you're bombing down those trails. Other things that I upgraded right up here on the top was the dropper post lever. Stock dropper post levers that come on most bikes OEM are just kind of crap, and the one that I had on here ended up kind of jamming up and not working well. So I had this wolf tooth already left over from my old Trek Slash actually. So I went ahead and threw that dropper post lever on there. So stem, bars, dropper post lever, grips, some of the first upgrades that I did to this bike. I also added in these little oil slick bolts right there on the SRAM Code R brakes. It's the little things, you know, those little things that don't increase performance of the bike at all, but just put a smile on your face and make your bike happy too. Now, these brakes, I did have issues with these Code R brakes, and that was one of the first things I was gonna upgrade. I was gonna swap out these brakes. However, took it into my local bike shop. They helped me get a really good bleed on these brakes since I'm usually running Shimano brakes. I didn't have the dot fluid, so they helped me get a good bleed on these brakes. Then these brakes started to perform better. Also, I swapped out the rotors on this bike, so I upgraded to these SRAM HS2 rotors. They're a little bit thicker and just, I mean, I didn't know that just changing out the rotors would make it perform that much better, but man, it really increased the stopping power. And while I was swapping out the rotors, I went ahead and put in those oil slick titanium bolts from Trail One as well. Now, some other little upgrades I did to this bike are these oil slick 1-up pedals and this Ergon Enduro saddle with those oil slick rails that just look amazing on this bike. Add a little bit to the performance, but definitely improve the looks as well. It's not all about looks, people, but if you're gonna spend money on your bike, it may as well look amazing. But in addition to those small upgrades, I also did some major upgrades to this bike. I completely upgraded the wheels, which reduced the weight a ton, and I threw on these 165mm cranks, which I never imagined would change the handling of this bike that much. For the wheels, I went with these Industry 9 EN300 wheels with that chrome hub and spokes to match those other chrome accents on the bike. I got the Trail 1 valve stem caps on there. Mounted these wheels with these Pirelli Scorpion tires, the Enduro tires with the M larger tire up front with that mixed compound, so plenty of grip and good tread up front. And then in the back, I got that rear specific Pirelli Scorpion tire that performs so good. Super fast rolling tire, offers just the right amount of grip, but still allows me to get loose around the corners. I also went ahead and threw on this Garbroot cassette, which shifts amazing and helped me reduce that weight just a little bit more, and ultimately helped me shave over 4 pounds off the bike by getting rid of this heavy setup. After that, there was just one final upgrade that I had to do. Like I said, I went ahead and swapped out my cranks. This bike came stock with a set of 175mm cranks, which were just way too long, especially for an enduro bike like this. And I figured if I'm gonna swap my cranks out, why not go with the most badass set of cranks that I can find? So I got these 5-dev cranks with that 5-dev chain ring that not only made this bike handle better on the way downhill, but made it look amazing as well. So adding up the current price of this bike at about $2,500, with everything I spent getting these upgrades using those discounts I have on the Trail 1 parts in the description, and the current bike market, which is offering some amazing sales, this thing out the door cost me about $4,500. So let's hop online real quick and see what model Trek Slash we could get for about $4,500 and how that compares part for part, component for component, with a fully upgraded budget bike like this. All right, so going through the Slash models, you can see they start out at a ridiculous $11,500. So we ain't getting a Slash 9.9, but moving on down to the Slash 8 down here, you can see that comes in at about, $4,400. But keep in mind that when you buy a Slash like this, it's gonna come with no pedals. So by the time you put on pedals, especially if you want a set of 1-up pedals like that are on this budget bike back here, you're gonna be at about $4,500 anyways. So instead of upgrading my budget bike, I could have just bought a Slash 8 Gen 6 like this. You can see the way it looks. I mean, that's personal preference. It comes in that blue, or I would prefer that light gray right there to be able to upgrade it. But let's get down into the specific components on this bike and go spec for spec what you would get for a Trek Slash like this. All right, so it's gonna come with the Alpha Platinum aluminum frame. So aluminum frame both on the Trek Slash and my Polygon N9, so that's about matching. The fork, Fox Rhythm 36 fork. So 36 fork is what you'd be getting on the Trek Slash versus the 38 fork you'd be getting on my Polygon N9, which I think is a lot better for an enduro bike like this, especially one with 170 millimeters of travel. Moving on to the shock, the Trek Slash comes with that Fox Performance Float X 2-position damper. So you got the Float X that comes on the Slash with the 2-position damper versus the Fox X2, bigger, beefier rear shock I'm getting on this Polygon N9 right here with the 4-position damper. So there goes suspension, a definite win to the Polygon N9. Now let's move on to the wheels. So the wheel sets on there, everything you're gonna get on the Trek bikes obviously is gonna be the Bontrager. So you get the Bontrager Line Comp 30 tubeless wheels, front and rear. Now there's nothing wrong with those Bontrager Line Comp 30 wheels, but I don't think you can even begin to say that those things would compete with the Industry 9 wheels I got on my Polygon N9 back here. So a definite win for the Polygon N9 on the wheel set. Moving on to the tires, you get the Bontrager XR5 tires right here that come on the Trek Slash. And those tires, compared to my Pirelli Scorpion tires that I got right here, they're just no comparison. These Pirelli Scorpion, I don't care who you are, these tires are gonna perform way better than those Bontrager XR5 tires. Moving on from the tires, let's get into the drivetrain, where the Trek Slash is a little bit closer to the drivetrain that came on this Polygon N9. Shimano XT drivetrain with that Shimano Dior cranks on there. So mine came with the full Shimano XT drivetrain with the Dior cassette, but the cranks, you're getting the Dior cranks on that Trek Slash 8 versus my 5-dev cranks on here that I got the exact size I wanted. So fancier looking cranks, probably a little bit stiffer cranks. I mean, I haven't done side-by-side comparisons, Shimano Dior versus 5-dev, but I imagine that the 5-dev are a bit stiffer and look a lot better as well. So a definite win on the upgraded budget versus the Trek Slash so far when it comes to some of those components on the drivetrain. Now moving on to the saddle, the handlebar, the stem, the grips, everything. Once again, it's a Trek bike, so it's all gonna be Bontrager stuff versus the Trail One components that I got on this Polygon N9 right here that I'm telling you guys, these Trail One components perform so good. So far, looking at this, I don't see how you could possibly think that my upgraded budget and the price I paid for this isn't better than the Trek Slash. But what do you guys think? Did I just create an absolute dream bike? Would you guys have upgraded a budget bike like this or just stuck with something like the Trek Slash? Leave a comment below and let me know. But while you're doing that, this video is not done just yet because I got a pretty important phone call to make. Yo, Zach, what's up, man? Hey, you're still getting that new Trek Slash, right? Would you be interested in doing a video, your new Trek Slash versus my fully upgraded Polygon N9? Yeah, you know, like a versus video. Hey you guys, sounds like we got our next video planned right now. While you guys are waiting on that one to come out, go ahead and check out this video and hit the damn subscribe button already. Yeah, no, I'm still here. Yeah, man, so here goes what I'm thinking. So the video will start out